Streaming live now on News8000.com. You're watching WKBT La Crosse. This is News 8 Now, This Morning.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Dua Esrar.
And I'm Derek Sibley.
It is October 18th, 2023. Happy Wednesday.
Happy Wednesday. Halfway through now.
Halfway through the week. Well, we are currently awaiting a CBS special report that may occur during our morning show. News 8 Now This Morning will air that report, but first, let's send it over to weather. You know, definitely a little warmer today.
A little warmer, and we're also talking about lots of clouds today and the fact that we could see some rain, especially by this afternoon. As of right now, though, we're just looking at those cloudy weather conditions that continue to move in from the west. You could run into a light shower or two. Temperatures are currently in the 40s, 46 Winona, 48 in La Crosse, 49 in Eau Claire, but much cooler in Black River Falls. You're currently at 38. Sparta's at 42 degrees. So a check now on your planner. Again, just starting off mainly cloudy, slight chance of a shower. Temperatures in the upper 40s, low 50s. And then we are watching for rain showers that will move in by the late morning into the afternoon hours today, with high temperatures into the 60s. So I recommend keeping that rain gear handy. You may run to some of those showers here throughout the day today. And keep in mind for this too, for the dog walking out there here as well. Things may turn wet here for the walks this afternoon and also as we head into the evening hours. But stay tuned. I'll have a check on your schoolcast coming up in a few minutes, plus a check on that full weather forecast. I'll time out the details as far as our rain goes here coming up in a few minutes. Dua?
Thanks, Derek. Well, let's get to some news this morning. The case against a man connected to an Eau Claire homicide will proceed. 28-year-old Haman Sullivan is facing charges for his alleged role in a fatal drive-by shooting. Sullivan's attorney argued for the case to be thrown out, saying the criminal complaint did not have enough evidence to meet probable cause. The court denied the motion to dismiss after reviewing the criminal complaint and finding there was probable cause as a felony was committed and that Sullivan was involved. Quick Trip is still trying to get its reward program back online after a week-long outage. The company's latest update on Facebook says its internal systems are back online and that retail and customer-facing systems have not been impacted. It also says card payment processing has stayed secure. The company also says there's no evidence any third party has stolen any customer's personal information. International eyes are on La Crosse to study how the Coulee region approaches prison reform. La Crosse Rotary members are hosting representatives from the Republic of Georgia. The Georgian group is invited to participate in the Project Proven program. It's a Western Technical College initiative to help former inmates re-socialize after time is served.
For me personally, there was some stuff that was like eye-opening for me. I was shocked to not think about it, or I would have not thought about it ever on my own.
Chairman of the Rotary's International Committee, Sherry Lafreddy, says it's been a pleasure to have them here and that they've learned a lot from this experience. $16 million. That's how much the Spring Grove Public School District is asking for in 2 bond referendum questions. The school district held an informational public meeting to answer any of the public's question about the referendum. Infrastructure updates are the focus of the first referendum question. If that question passes, $12 million will be used to fund improvements. If the public supports the first question, the project could be expanded to include the second question. That one asks for an additional $4 million to build a new career technical education lab. Spring Grove Superintendent says the funding will make the schools better for students.
It is important for us to make some of these upgrades to improve the learning environment for our kids.
One of those upgrades would be replacing 95-year-old pipes in one of the main school buildings. This is the first time the school district has had a referendum since the 80s. The public will be able to vote on the questions on November 7th. A major grant from Minnesota's Economic Development Agency will help Spring Grove rebuild after a major fire last winter. The state is granting $312,000 to help Spring Grove demolish and develop the site of the former True Value hardware store. The store and 6 apartments above it burned down in a fire just before Christmas last year. No one was seriously injured in the fire, but it was a shock to the Spring Grove's main street. This incoming grant money will redevelop the roughly quarter-acre spot into a mixed-use apartment building with 14 units. It'll also create 7,500 square feet of commercial space, but it's unclear what kind of business or businesses could set up shop.
We have been talking with several local entrepreneurs about ways that this project could also support the growth of their business. What we have right now is a plan for a shell. And as we seek those commercial tenants, we would be willing to build to suit for what they need. And
a group of local entrepreneurs bought the property from the old owner. Before this grant, the state also awarded a separate $250,000 to Spring Grove. So the two grants will now go a long way to helping the entrepreneurs revitalize this space.
To know that the state believes in us enough to invest and these local investors believe enough to reinvest their funds, it does kind of bring a new sense of optimism and hope to the community.
Project leaders hope to start redeveloping within the year. $275,000 in ARPA money is coming to support several La Crosse housing projects. The Neighborhood Revitalization Grant Review Committee has granted the money to several projects. $50,000 will help Habitat for Humanity build 2 homes. Another $50,000 goes to a Coulee Cap affordable housing project and $50,000 more for La Crosse's housing replacement program. The committee still has about $100,000 left to distribute. Rotary Lights have announced their plans for the 29th anniversary of their holiday lights display at Riverside Park. Volunteers started setting up lights in the park Monday, which will take about 6 weeks to complete. The display will feature over 3 million lights, nightly visits from Santa, carriage rides, s'mores, and even a few new surprises.
We do have a few new animated displays that you'll see in the park as well. We have some live animals that will be joining our live nativity scene down in the park as well. And one of the big changes is we're expanding our entertainment in the big tent.
Those entertainment acts will include the Harp Twins, John Smith, and a few other notable acts. The display will open November 24th and will run through New Year's Eve. This event helps the Rotary Lights mission of feeding the hungry in the Coulee region. This year, proceeds from their teddy bear sales will go toward providing meals and snacks for the Boys and Girls Club. The Wisconsin Historical Society and Wisconsin PBS will be hosting a free screening of Wisconsin Pride tonight at the Rivoli Theater. According to a press release, the new documentary takes a look at some previously unknown Wisconsin LGBTQ+ stories and experiences. Some La Crosse area stories will also be featured in the film. Doors open at 6 tonight and the show starts at 7 in the evening. You can register for free tickets on the Rivoli Theater's website. A La Crosse restaurant is celebrating Breast Cancer Awareness Month with an annual fundraiser. News 8 Now's Jeremy Wall has the story.
Kelly Eckelberg is a Toma mother with stage 2 breast cancer.
I actually have not worked since February, so it's been a struggle.
Eckelberg is one of 4 breast cancer patients who Milwaukee Burger Company will be raising money for during its Burgers for Boobs fundraiser.
We wanted to find a creative way to give back to the community, so we decided to do this breast cancer fundraiser every year.
For 14 years, the restaurant chain has been holding the fundraiser. This will be its La Crosse location's 3rd year having it. For every burger ordered, $5 will be donated to help people, including Eckelberg, who are fighting or recovering from breast cancer.
I'm humbled just to have been nominated in the first place. It's not a monetary or a monetary type thing. I just hope to raise awareness even for people around the community.
No burger, no problem. Customers can also bet on silent auction items, and tips from servers will also be donated to help people like Eckelberg keep fighting.
It's tough. I've had amazing care through medical. I've had amazing medical care. I've had amazing support. I don't know how people do this without the support.
Burgers aren't the only big part of the fundraiser. Customers can also dunk their favorite employees in a dunk tank and enjoy music from a DJ. In La Crosse, Jeremy Wall, News 8 Now.
The fundraiser is tomorrow. Milwaukee Burger Company hopes to raise between $5,000 to $6,000. Well, still ahead on your morning news, X is testing a new annual fee feature for some users. We'll tell you how much you may have to pay in order to post on the social media website. And some analysts are expecting this year's travel season to be the busiest in 4 years. We'll have some tips and tricks to help plan those upcoming holiday trips, amid a potential travel surge. That and more is coming up this morning, but for now, we're sending you to break with something to put the good in your morning. The stars may not look bigger, but they do look brighter. That's what pioneering astronaut Sally Ride said of the view in space. With the James Webb Space Telescope releasing unseen images of the galaxy each week, we're starting to understand what she meant. Now, astronomers have announced they've identified quartz on an exoplanet. The tiny crystals hang in the clouds of planet WASP 17b, which is 1,300 light years from Earth. According to scientists, the quartz crystals contain silica, which is often found in sand. The discovery may help scientists understand how exoplanet clouds form and evolve. Don't go anywhere. Your consumer news at News 8 Now this morning is after the break.
Skies are looking still cloudy here this morning, and conditions will remain this way as the day goes on, with some showers moving in here later today. Current temperatures are into the 40s, 49 in Eau Claire, 48 degrees currently now in La Crosse, 43 in Sparta. Much cooler in Black River Falls. You're at 38. Winona is currently at 46 degrees. A check now on your zone forecast today, calling for a very mild day in terms of high temperatures, reaching the 60s, 62 in Bangor, 64 in Berry Mills, and 60 in Middle Ridge, and 64 down into the Shelby area. It will be 60 in Viroqua and a high of 62 in Stoddard. 59 though if you're in Westby, heading north into the central zones. Highs into the low 60s here with 61 in Winona. And as we head into the Chippewa Valley, you're looking at 61 today in Eau Claire with mainly cloudy skies and chances of showers here to the north as well. Bus stop forecast off to school this morning, 49 degrees, mostly cloudy of a start. And as we head back home, you could run into some rain, otherwise cloudy skies, 64 degrees of temperature. I'd pack that umbrella or rain gear in general just in case you run into some of those scattered showers, which we'll talk about coming up in the weather forecast in a few minutes.
In your consumer news this morning, Elon Musk's X is trying out an annual fee for some users. According to the social media platform formerly known as Twitter, new users in the Philippines and New Zealand will have to pay $1 a year for the ability to post. Users can still sign up for free, but will be stuck in read-only mode. X says the change will cut down on spam and bot activity. Existing users will not be affected. The IRS is proceeding with plans to put out its own tax filing program. That program, Direct File, will be available to taxpayers in 13 states next year. The program functions in a similar way to tax filing software like TurboTax and H&R Block. It will be available in California, Massachusetts, and 9 other states. The IRS expects several 100,000 users in 2024. Feedback will help the agency decide if the idea is realistic. Well, this year's top Halloween costume may not come as a total shock, and no, it's not Taylor Swift. According to Google, the most popular Halloween costume for 2023 is Barbie. Its popularity makes sense considering the film's cultural dominance. Because the doll comes in many forms, it's an easy costume to put together by digging through one's closet or taking a trip to the thrift store. The second most popular costume is Princess, followed by Spider-Man. More Americans are expected to travel this year compared to last year. Some analysts are even predicting that this travel season can be the busiest season in the last 4 years. Mike Valerio spoke with one analyst who has some tips and tricks to help you better plan your upcoming holiday trips during a possible travel surge.
The holiday season is quickly approaching, and inflation is impacting travel options for many Americans. A new survey from Bankrate found most travelers are looking for ways to take a trip without breaking the bank.
77% of holiday travelers are making adjustments, but they don't want to skip the trip entirely. They're willing to drive instead of fly. They're willing to stay in cheaper accommodations or pick cheaper activities.
Bankrate senior industry analyst Ted Rossman says you may find deals if you have flexible travel days.
Could you go earlier? Could you stay later? If you're willing to fly the morning of Thanksgiving, that actually might be a big cost savings opportunity. And hopefully you still get there in time for the family dinner.
And make your money work for you.
Take stock of your rewards points and miles, whether it's cashback credit card rewards or airline miles or hotel points. you may be sitting on more value than you realize.
Another concern for travelers, flight delays and cancellations, especially after a rough holiday travel season last year. But you can book with a credit card that has strong travel insurance protections.
A lot of cards will include these at no added cost, and they help with everything from damaged rental cars to canceled or delayed flights, lost or delayed luggage.
Just a few steps you can take to make sure your holidays are as happy and stress-free as possible.
Well, that's it for your morning consumer news. Let's check in with Derek and get today's forecast.
All right, thanks so much for that, Dua. Starting off very cloudy here this morning with current temperatures in La Crosse at 48 degrees. Southeast winds light at around 7 miles an hour. 5.65 feet is our river stage, which is rising along the Mississippi. In Eau Claire, 49 degrees is our temperature. Southeast winds light at 7 miles an hour. Very cloudy weather conditions do continue all across the area this morning. You may run to a light stray shower possible as this low pressure system back to our west continues to take shape and move into our direction here today. That's going to only increase the cloud cover and also give us some showers here as we head into the afternoon hours. Current temperatures are mainly into the 40s, 46 now in Viroqua and also in Winona. We're looking at 48 degrees currently in Boscobel. Much colder in Black River Falls. You're currently at 38 degrees. So as we take a look now at your planner, running into some scattered showers here as we head into the noon hour, followed by mostly cloudy skies by 4 o'clock. Could see some more showers as we head into this evening with afternoon highs approaching near the low 60s. So here's 8 o'clock and you can see very cloudy weather conditions still moving in. Here comes the rain though by around noon today. Some of these could produce some locally heavy downpours, especially up towards the Chippewa valleys where some of the models are indicating some of those heavier showers could be. And then by 4 o'clock, here's that break that I talked about. Could run into a couple of light scattered showers as a possibility here later today. I think we'll see some more scattered rain showers though as we head into this evening in some spots. That may settle down here a little bit as we head into overnight tonight. And then by tomorrow morning around 6 a.m., still very cloudy, slight chance of a shower still possible in a couple of locations. Here's 1 o'clock tomorrow, still very cloudy. Those temperatures holding steady into the 50s and low 60s before this next round of rain begins to move in heading into tomorrow evening and also into tomorrow night. But with that being said though, rainfall accumulations look pretty light around here. We're thinking around just less than 1/10 of an inch in many spots here. Some locally higher totals are also possible, but for the most part, very minimal rainfall accumulations. A check on your 8-day forecast showing that we will be looking at those rain chances through Thursday. Slight chance of a shower or two possible on Friday. And then we're looking at mixed clouds and sun as we head into this weekend. Also into early next week on Monday, watching for more possible rain chances for Tuesday into Wednesday of next week. High temperatures in the 50s and 60s and lows mainly into the 40s. Stay with us. We're back with much more news and weather still to come on News 8 Now this morning. For now, we're sending it a break with a look what happened on this day in history for October 19th. We'll be right back.
Welcome to the Blitz. It's playoff time. The Wisconsin High School volleyball postseason tipping off last night. Teams all over the Coulee region looking to get one step closer to the state tournament. We'll start in Division II. Let's head out to West Salem. Panthers made it to Green Bay last year. They began their playoff run last night hosting Black River Falls. In the first, hot start for the home team. Great dig. Izzy Clements is there for the set. Josie Brudos is going to drop one in. Point Panthers. Tigers trying to hang in it, though. The junior Kenley Brown is going to find the floor. That cuts the deficit back to 5, but the Panthers duo back at it. Clements to Brudos. Another kill for the sophomore. 8-point lead for West Salem. Panthers are eyeing another state tournament run. McKenna Ely slams one home. All Panthers last night. They win this one in 3 sets. Let's stay in Division II. Logan at home. Rangers hosting Mauston. Logan dropping the first set, but Liberty Sprain up high for the spike. Rangers go up 6, but here come the Golden Eagles. McKenna Puili is going to slam this one to the ground. Mauston right back in this one, and then later in the second, it's the senior again skying high for the spike. Eagles take a 17-16 lead. Rangers respond. Aaliyah Hamilton going up high for the kill. That ties it at 17. Then later in the second, Ava Detweiler with the set. Kaya DePaulo with the smash. Logan would drop the first 2 sets, but the Rangers rally all the way back. They keep their season alive as they win the final 3 and take this one in 5. To Westby we go. This is how the first set would end. Emma Chose blocked to give the Norsemen a 30-28 victory. Didn't take long, though, for Luther to respond. Second set, Sienna Horseman with the tip down. Then later in the second, Ali Fortune would return the favor. We're all tied at 13. Next play, Horseman sends it right back to put the Knights up by 1. Norsemen find themselves down 4 until Chose slams it down for the kill. But the Knights have the ball, and guess who? It's Horseman. She wins the set. We're all tied at 1. To the third we go. Who else other than Fortune, the junior, balling out last night? Add another kill to the stat sheet. Here's the junior yet again. She's going to throw the hammer down to put Westby up 2-1. Norsemen run away with it. They take down Luther in 4 sets. Just down the road to Cashton we go. Eagles hosting DeSoto. 6th-ranked Eagles were soaring early. Vivi Dempsey taps it over the net to give Cashton a 3-point lead. Later on in the first, the Pirates bump it too far. Quinn Cook elevates, smacks it down for the kill. Cashton would continue to dominate. This time, the junior Sammy Kleba gets in on the fun, puts the Eagles up 12. All Cashton last night. They win this one in 3 sets. Over to Field for Kids, Central hosting Onalaska for round 1 of the soccer playoffs. Scoreless first half, but in the second, Arlo Wilker threads the needle, finds Finn Emlet, puts it through. Riverhawks take the lead. Later on, Onalaska with the free kick. Big Will gives this ball a ride. You have to be kidding me. Hilltoppers tie it up. We would go to a shootout. And on the first kick, Anna's Jacob Havlik comes up huge with a save. Then on the next shot, it's Havlik again. Another save. He was a brick wall last night. It was only a matter of time before Armin Kiani sends the Hilltoppers through to the second round. They win it 4-2 in penalty kicks. Over to Toma, the MVC champs got a 3 seed. They were hosting Platteville in round 1. First half, Toma on the corner kick. Hacken Garvin sends it in. Brennan Warden uses his head. He finds the net. Toma goes up 1. Second half now, T-Wolves in front. Ty Richards putting the pressure on, takes a shot. Platteville clears it right into their own net. It's an own goal. Then later on, Richards again in enemy territory, puts up a shot. This time Dane Vervoren gets the rebound. Another T-Wolves goal. Timberwolves are moving on. They get the win 4-0. Big night for Richards. He sets the single season scoring record for Toma. Goals number 25 and 26 on the year. And on the pitch in Minnesota, the Windhawks are going back to the state tournament for a 2nd straight season. The Winona girls soccer team winning the Section 1 AA championship last night. Windhawks take down Byron 2-1, and they are state tournament bound. That's going to do it for the Blitz. We'll see you tonight.
President Biden is in Israel this morning for meetings with Prime Minister Netanyahu and military leaders. The White House says the president's goals are to show solidarity with Israel, coordinate on the release of hostages held by Hamas, and to push for a plan to get desperately needed humanitarian aid into Gaza. But the stakes of his visit have ratcheted up in the last few hours following a massive explosion that killed hundreds of Palestinians at a Gaza hospital. CBS News correspondent Ian Lee has the latest from Tel Aviv.
President Joe Biden met with Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu in Israel amid escalating regional tensions.
The world's looking. Israel has a value set like the United States does and other democracies, and they're looking to see what we're going to do.
A fatal blast at a Gaza City hospital has killed hundreds of people, according to the Palestinian Health Ministry. Palestinian leader Mahmoud Abbas blamed Israeli airstrikes for the explosion, calling it a war crime. Israel denies responsibility and instead says the blast was caused by misfired rockets launched by Islamic Jihad.
According to our intelligence, Hamas checked the reports, understood it was an Islamic Jihad rocket that had misfired, and decided to launch a global media campaign to hide what really happened.
President Biden said he is outraged and deeply saddened by the hospital explosion. A summit with the leaders of Jordan, Egypt, and the Palestinians has now been canceled, a decision one U.S. official described as mutual. The situation sparked angry protests in multiple Middle Eastern countries, including Jordan and Lebanon, where the State Department has issued a do not travel advisory. Israeli forces and Hezbollah fighters have exchanged fire near the Lebanese border in recent days. The U.S. has positioned military assets, including a force of 2,000 Marines and warships in the region to support Israel if needed.
Today, President Biden told the Israeli Prime Minister that it appears the hospital explosion was, quote, done by the other team. The Secretary General of the United Nations has also condemned the explosion. The UN Security Council has scheduled an emergency meeting today to address the blast. U.S. officials have confirmed the U.S. has provided Ukraine with long-range missiles secretly. The announcement comes after images of the missiles in Ukraine were being shared on social media. The officials did not say when the U.S. sent the weapons to Ukraine, but said they kept the delivery of the weapons quiet because they wanted to take Russia by surprise. U.S. officials also have said that Ukraine has used the missiles to attack Russian airfields in eastern Ukraine. Yesterday was a busy day in Madison for state lawmakers. A Republican committee is approving pay raises for state workers unless they're UW employees. Republican Assembly Speaker Robin Vos has promised to block the raises until the school system cuts its diversity, equity, and inclusion spending by $32 million. He's the co-chair of the committee that authorizes the raises. UW System President Jay Rothman says it's an unprecedented move and says it's leaving working families behind.
Well, we are beyond disappointed in the actions. We are not going to give up being advocates for the work that our faculty and staff do.
Republican Senator Howard Marklin broke with Vos after the vote, saying UW employees shouldn't be penalized for university system politics. Wisconsin Senate Republicans passed a $2 billion income tax cut as part of a package targeting child care costs. Republicans gutted a $1 billion package that Governor Evers had pushed, which would have continued a program subsidizing child care centers. Republicans removed Evers' items and put forward the income tax cut that Evers has vetoed before. Democrats are critical of the decision to remove child care funding, but Republicans say they need to find the true cause of the industry's problems.
Is it all about money or is it about regulations? So it gives us some time to actually really sit down and talk to figure out the issue.
Republican child care legislation calls for loosening regulations on the industry. Governor Tony Evers has pivoted to using $170 million in FEMA money to pay child care providers through this current budget. Oldenburg says Evers should have done this sooner to save providers who've recently closed their doors. The Senate also voted to fire 8 state board appointees from Governor Evers' administration and gender-affirming surgery for minors. Lawmakers rejected 4 members of the Natural Resources Board, a Democratic Elections Commissioner, and a medical board chair. Evers has already named new appointees to replace each of the rejected board members. As for the transgender surgery legislation, Evers has already guaranteed he'll veto it, and Republicans don't have the votes to override it. 22 other states have enacted similar laws. A Wisconsin man is facing a misdemeanor charge after he brought guns into the state capitol. Almost 2 weeks ago, Joshua Plesnick was arrested for illegally openly carrying a loaded handgun in the Capitol. While he was at the Capitol, he went to Governor Evers' office and asked to speak to Evers, who was not in the building at the time. After posting bail, Plesnick returned to outside the Capitol that night with an AK-style semi-automatic rifle. He is scheduled for his initial appearance tomorrow. Now here's Derek to tell us what to expect for our morning commute.
All right, thanks for that, Dua. We are tracking cloudy skies here across the Coulee region currently, and that trend is going to continue as we progress through the day with some scattered showers possible as we head into this afternoon. Temperatures right now are into the 40s, 49 degrees currently in Eau Claire, and 48 in La Crosse, 43 in Sparta. Viroqua currently at 45 degrees. So as we head into the forecast today, scattered showers, cloudy and mild, temperatures at 64, south winds at 10 to 20 miles an hour. Heading into tonight, 49 degrees with scattered showers still lingering across the area. Otherwise, mostly cloudy, winds west at 5 to 10 miles an hour. I don't think today's the greatest day to really go ahead and mow. If you have to do so, you might want to go ahead and do it as early as you can here before you run into some of those scattered light showers here moving in across the area. Temperatures 50s and 60s this afternoon. I'll have a check on your full weather forecast here one more time coming up in a few minutes, and we'll time out the rain details as well. And also coming up in our Buzz Report, a new movie with Robert De Niro and Leonardo DiCaprio comes out Friday. We'll take a look at the killers of the Flower Moon in just a few minutes. Things are off to a nice and cloudy start here this morning. Temperatures in La Crosse at 48 degrees. Winds into the southeast at around 7 miles an hour. If you're in Eau Claire, 49 is your temperature with southeast winds. Currently light at around 7 miles an hour here too. So we're looking at those cloudy weather conditions that continue to move in from the west. You could run into a light shower here in some parts of the area. But as we widen out the view, you can see what's happening. We have this very strong low pressure system back towards the west, producing all the cloud cover and rain showers to the west of us here as well. And that activity is moving in our general direction. That's why our rain chances will go up here later today, which I'll get to here in a second. As you head outside, though, temperatures right now into the 40s, 46 in Winona currently, 43 in Sparta, 46 degrees in Viroqua. Much colder, though, for you folks in Black River Falls. You're currently at 38 degrees. As we take a look now at your planner, cloudy skies through much of the day with some scattered showers possible around 4 o'clock. We may get a bit of a break around 4, followed by some more chances of scattered showers as we head into this evening. So as we time it out on Sky Tracker, here's 8 o'clock, and you can see things looking very cloudy. Here comes the rain moving in around noon today. Some of these showers could produce some locally heavy downpours, especially north into the Chippewa Valley is what some models are indicating, so we'll watch out for that. But by 4 o'clock, I do expect most of the wet weather to clear. Some scattered showers, though, are still possible as we head into the early evening hours and also into early tonight. But then by overnight, I'm expecting mainly cloudy skies. Slight chance of a scattered pop-up shower still possible, even as we head into early tomorrow morning there, as you can see around 6 o'clock. Here's 1 o'clock tomorrow afternoon, and most of the rain, not really much of a factor, just looking at mainly cloudy skies throughout the day before this next round of rain begins to move in, heading into tomorrow evening and tomorrow night. And again, some of those showers here too could produce some locally heavy downpours as well. But as far as how much rain we could see around here, not as much as what we had with this last event last week. In fact, this system is only expected to produce only around 1/10 of an inch or so of rain through tomorrow night, with some locally heavy totals also possible as well. So not much there. But here's a check on your 8-day forecast, and you can see that we will keep some of those rain chances lingering through Thursday. Slight chance of a shower possible into Friday, but by Friday I expect bigger improvements. Mix of clouds and sun here as we head into this weekend and also into early next week on Monday. Our next best chance of rain probably coming Tuesday into Wednesday of next week. High temperatures in the 50s and 60s and lows mainly in the 40s.
In our morning Buzz report, it looks as if Alec Baldwin will end up facing charges in the Rush shooting after all. In October 2021, Baldwin was handling a prop gun he believed to be filled with blanks when it went off, killing cinematographer Helena Hutchins. Baldwin had already been charged with manslaughter, but those charges were reduced this year. Now prosecutors will hand the case to a New Mexico grand jury who will decide if the actor will face criminal charges. Pop star Alicia Keys is trying to correct a misunderstanding over an Instagram post. In the now deleted post, the singer indicated she had paragliding on her mind and wore green. Some interpret the post as support for Hamas, the militant terrorist group that controls the Gaza Strip. Her former manager, who is Israeli, says the post was not meant to be anti-Semitic and wasn't aware that paragliding was a reference to Hamas's attack on October 7th. Britney Spears is opening up about her 13-year conservatorship in her upcoming memoir and on TV. The Princess of Pop said that during the conservatorship, she felt like, quote, a child robot. From 2008 to 2021, Spears was in a conservatorship that gave control of her finances and medical choices to her father. A judge ended it in 2021. She also writes about her choice to have an abortion in the memoir, The Woman in Me. It comes out October 24th.
Whose land is this? My land.
It's one of the most anticipated releases of the year from famed director Martin Scorsese. The upcoming film Killers of the Flower Moon is the story over a murderous struggle for oil and justice in 1920s Oklahoma. The film stars Leonardo DiCaprio, Robert De Niro, and Lily Gladstone. It's the director's 6th collaboration with DiCaprio and 10th with De Niro. Killers of the Flower Moon has received rave reviews from critics. It comes out in theaters on Friday.
I saw some of the ads for this trailer lately on television, and it does look really good, and obviously some familiar names, actors in there. So yeah, I'm going to check it out when that hits theaters.
It's also, this wasn't mentioned in the recap, but it's also about the indigenous tribes in Oklahoma as well. So, you know, it kind of talks about their struggles as well.
Right, exactly. Kind of ties in there, so
yeah,
should be good.
Well, before we have to break, it's time for today's Look Who's 8.
Got a few birthdays today. We'll start off with Remington, who is turning 8 months old. Now, he is always smiling, laughing, and chewing on everything in sight.
Evie is turning 8 years old today. She loves her family, reading, and snuggling with her cat Scrambles. I love cats.
Yeah, and I love the name too, Scrambles.
Scrambles. Cats have the funniest names.
They really do.
Especially on like the Humane Society page.
Yeah, they just got all unique names on there.
Yeah, I've seen a whole letter named after Taylor Swift's album.
Of course.
Yeah. Then there was a cat named Socks, which I thought was hilarious.
That's a good name for a cat, Socks.
Scrappy.
Scrappy, I like that one. What about Claus, Mr.
Claus, Mr. Claus.
Yeah,
that sounds like a cat name.
It does. Kennedy is celebrating a golden birthday today. She turns 18 years old. She loves playing volleyball, softball, and her dog Duke.
If you know a special someone turning 8 weeks, 8 months, 8 years, 18, 80, or 88, we'd love to feature them.
That's right. Just upload their photo to our website, news8000.com, and look for the Submit Pictures button underneath the Home tab on our website.
Stay with us. We have everything you need to know today in 5 minutes or less. Your morning news now is up next. In your morning news now, the case against a man connected to an Eau Claire homicide will proceed. 28-year-old Jamon Sullivan is facing charges for his alleged role in a fatal drive-by shooting. Sullivan's attorney argued for the case to be thrown out, saying the criminal complaint did not have enough to meet probable cause. The court denied the motion to dismiss after reviewing the criminal complaint and found there was probable cause a felony was committed and Sullivan was involved. Quick Trip is still trying to get its reward program back online after a week-long outage. The company's latest update on Facebook says its internal systems are back online and that retail and customer-facing systems have not been impacted. It also says card payment processing has stayed secure. The company also says there's no evidence any third party has stolen any customer's personal information. A busy day in Madison for state lawmakers. A Republican committee is approving pay raises for state workers unless they're UW employees. Republican Assembly Speaker Robin Vos has promised to block the raises until the school system cuts its diversity, equity, and inclusion spending by $32 million. He's the co-chair of the committee that authorizes the raises. UW System President Jay Rothman says it's an unprecedented move and says it's leaving working families behind.
Well, we are beyond disappointed in the actions. We are not going to give up being advocates for the work that our faculty and staff do.
Republican Senator Howard Marklin broke with Vos after the vote, saying UW employees shouldn't be penalized for university system politics. $16 million, that's how much the Spring Grove Public School District is asking for in 2 bond referendum questions. The school district held an informational public meeting to answer any of the public's questions about the referendum. Infrastructure updates are the focus of the first referendum. If that passes, $12 million will be used to fund improvements. If the public supports the first question, the project could be expanded to include the second bond question. That one asks for an additional $4 million to build a new career technical education lab. Spring Grove superintendent says the funding will make the schools better for students.
It is important for us to make some of these upgrades to improve the learning environment for our kids.
One of those upgrades would be replacing 95-year-old pipes in one of the main school buildings. This is the first time the school district has had a referendum since the 80s. The public will be able to vote on the questions on November 7th. Rotary Lights have announced their plans for the 29th anniversary of their holiday lights display at Riverside Park. Volunteers started setting up lights in the park Monday, which will take about 6 weeks to complete. The display will feature over 3 million lights, nightly visits from Santa, carriage rides, s'mores, and even a few new surprises.
We do have a few new animated displays that you'll see in the park as well. We have some live animals that will be joining our live nativity scene down in the park as well. And one of the big changes is we're expanding our entertainment in the big tent.
Those entertainment acts will include the Harp Twins, John Smith, and a few other notable acts. The display will open November 24th and will run through New Year's Eve. This event helps the Rotary Lights mission of feeding the hungry in the Coulee region. This year, proceeds from their teddy bear sales will go towards providing meals and snacks for the Boys and Girls Club. The Wisconsin Historical Society and Wisconsin PBS will be hosting a free screening of Wisconsin Pride tonight at the Rivoli Theater. According to a press release, the new documentary takes a look at some previously unknown Wisconsin LGBTQ+ stories and experiences. Some La Crosse area stories will also be featured in the film. Doors open at 6 tonight and the show starts at 7. You can register for free tickets on the Rivoli Theater's website.
And as you head out the door this morning, temperatures are into the upper 40s, low 50s under mostly cloudy skies. I'm watching for scattered showers here to start moving in by late morning and also into the early afternoon. Some of those showers could last into this evening and tonight as well. Keep our eyes on that. High temperatures today into the 60s, making it pretty mild for this time of year. Heading into the day tomorrow, watching for more lingering showers, high of around 60. Slight chance of a shower on Friday, and then looking at mix of sun and clouds this weekend into early next week.
Can't believe they're already setting up for Rotary Lights.
Yeah, it's crazy. 'Tis the season, I feel like now.
Tis the season. Have you've been to the Rotary Lights?
I've been to Rotary Lights. It's beautiful.
It is.
I've been a couple of times now. So,
Me too.
yeah.
My first year in La Crosse, I think that was like the thing to do. I was there way too many times.
They do play the music too, if I remember correctly, right?
Yeah. So like I went with my parents when they first visited, and then I went with my mom, and then I went with a couple cousins.
It's fun.
It's fun.
Yeah, it really is.
It just means that time of year is.
It's coming.
It's coming.
We just jump over Halloween as usual.
Yeah,
Nobody
and
cares
Thanksgiving.
about it. Yeah, right. That too.
All right. Well, thank you for watching News 8 Now. Don't forget to keep up with news of the day on News 8 Now at noon. We'll see you back here later today. Have a wonderful Wednesday.